Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crituitous RP. Thanks for joining us today. So, before we jump into the adventure itself, let's go through some quick business. We would like to thank our followers from the past week. We have Plateau of Leng, Lorator, Lorata, not sure, Tovek, Yapper 808, and Heretical Drop. So thank you to all of you folks for following us. We're almost at 300 followers. How insane is that? It was just the other week we were struggling to get to 100. So thank you to every single one of you that has followed us for all the wonderful stuff that you've been doing. So, quick couple things. We're charging through the Tomb of Annihilation campaign right now. The party are hitting into Omu. If you'd like to see how they got to this point and how the adventure progressed, check out our backlog of episodes. Particularly, go subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can watch all of those things and all of the good stuff that goes with that. On Twitter, we are at Crituitous RP. On Tumblr, you can follow our Tumblr page, that is crituitousrp.tumblr.com. And if you like the stuff that you see here today, if you like the engaging with us and playing with us, you can support us over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/tearvent. Some of the rewards that people get for pledging on there is just simply being able to read along with out-of-game but in-character roleplay chat during the week, helping me to build up NPCs. Today, you will meet a certain NPC that a couple of you viewers helped me to create. And you can play with us once a month playing board games, and then you can even have a Dungeon Delve night once a month with me as well. So if you like D&D, if you like what we do, support us there. It helps us to keep having fun doing what we do. All right, let's jump right into the main adventure. Previously on Crituitous RP, our heroes had been exploring the city at the peninsula of Chult. The reason? They need to find this soulmonger machine. They witnessed the death of a colleague of Grigori's. That started them on a long trek and road, searching for hope. From what it would seem, the soulmonger seems to be able to put a deadly curse that's affecting everyone and everything around here. Last week, we said goodbye to the last of our friends, our NPC friend Shargo, and our heroes arrived alone, but safely, in the city of Omu. We rejoined the party as they are right at the entrance of the city. They haven't actually stepped in yet. They wanted to clarify that you guys haven't yet actually entered the city of Omu. You are stood at the top of a staircase that leads down. You can see this great cityscape before you. The city appears to have been sunken into the ground somewhat. There are cliff walls that, at the closest point to you, are at floor level, but then spread out to 50 to 100 foot tall cliffside walls. Along the edge of this cliff, you can all clearly see gargoyles have been positioned. You have been told that the city is protected and you cannot gain access to the city unless you are supposed to be there, and you go through the two main methods of getting in. One is the staircase in front of you. The other is a waterfall on the exact opposite side of the city. The waterfall spews down into this grand ruined city and just chokes all of the buildings around it in water. Everything looks flooded as it pours through the city, cuts through, and then lands steaming in a pit full of lava. So, how would you guys like to proceed?
Waterfall. The waterfall, I think.
Well, the stairs are also applicable, and the waterfall is on the other side of the map, so...
The waterfall has gargoyles. And if I remember correctly, the waterfall's the safer way in, right?
So both the stairs and the waterfall are accepted ways of getting into Omo. That's what you've been told.
So we are where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
It seems like a bit of an oversight in city planning to put your city in the way of a waterfall. Is it just me, or does that seem like a curious decision?
Having fresh water flow through the city does not seem unusual. Many cities share that feature.
Sure.
Certainly being in a depression is much more irregular than being on top of a bluff.
Also, the flooding may not have been part of this, what we see now. It may have been a waterway.
I say we proceed with caution and stealth.
Agreed.
Sure, yeah. Let's.
Perhaps it would be best if one just went ahead to poke around, raise less attraction that way.
Just one.
Or two.
What's the time of the day?
You guys had been walking for a while, so it's actually mid-afternoon, late evening, I would say. You got a couple hours before sundown.
The reason we're here in Omu is because Valindra said she overheard the Red Wizards saying that the Soulmonger would be somewhere within the city. But she didn't get any more specific than that. And now with the city before us, it looks rather larger than I had expected. I have a spell that may aid us in locating objects, but I don't know that I'm familiar enough with this Soulmonger machine in order for it to be effective. I'm happy to give it a try.
I remember that she also said something about the 9 gods showing the way, or something of that nature. In which case, if you follow the story, there are locations in each part. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but like, it starts with a hollow tree and ends in a burrow. Maybe that's part of it.
So you're suggesting that we seek out a hollow tree?
I'm not necessarily suggesting, but I am putting that idea on the table to be considered.
I think our best option, as the city is so large, we should find a safe place. Someplace we can stop, someplace we can put together and think that isn't here in this jungle, which is being patrolled constantly by UNT. Shago, you have some magic that keeps
Shago isn't.
Shago's gone.
Anymore.
Shelby's gone.
Tower, your impressive size is reminiscent of our dearly departed friend, who's hopefully still alive. Tower, but you have some druidic magics that help you blend into the environment that you've used time to time, yes?
Yes.
Perhaps you and Zola could go together. I could make you invisible. You could see if there's a safe place for us to post up for the night.
I am also considering. I have some magic that may allow us to disguise the stairs. I may accelerate plant growth over this area. If we can disguise the entrance into the city behind us, then maybe the UNT in the forest cannot enter either.
Perhaps.
But I have not prepared this spell this day. If we camp, then we must camp quite close.
So we should find a suitable structure to spend the night that should be close to the stairs. Does that sound like our plan then?
Game.
Yeah.
Zola Tower, why don't you scout ahead then?
Agreed. Tower will turn into a panther.
Grigori will cast invisibility on him and twin it for him and Zola.
Okay. All right. So the two of you start making your way in conveniently as you're looking for a structure close to the stairs. Not 200 feet in front of you, there is a concrete building at the bottom of the stairs. Much of this this building is cleared that it used to be a guardhouse. It is made out of stone and rock, and it was fairly cleanly built, but the passage of time and the unhindered growth of the jungle has just begun to wrap around it and swallow it whole. The building has arrow slits all along the side that gives you a view of the inside. It is hollow. There is nothing inside of it, inside this building. You skirt around it, and much of the interior has collapsed into rubble. Creepers cling to the walls, and high grasses just seem to sprout out of cracks in the stonework at the bottom. But otherwise, it is a stone box that's quite clear. Except as you come around the back side to look at the wall, the interior of the wall that is towards the doorsteps, you see that the inside is covered with graffiti. Paintings, carvings. Some have been painted in what looks like paint. Others look like they've been hastily etched into it. They're all in common, actually, conveniently. So someone has been marking messages on this wall in common. Those messages are, that you read, "Fear the fangs of Raz and Sea." I will type this out for you all as well so that you can get it afterwards. No worries. All right. Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. V. The puzzle cubes are the key. Beware the frog monster. Who is Unk? All hail the king of feathers. The snakes are not what they seem. Kubazan equals bravery. Shigambi equals wisdom. Moa equals question mark. It actually says question mark. So I will post it into the chat for you all to see those little things.
They're going to have a hard time all hailing the King of Feathers now.
Tao's still got his little headdress and feathers.
Can he turn into a T-Rex?
Not yet.
And T-Rex.
So, with that information, with the graffiti on the inside of this, the building itself looks fairly secure, looks easily defendable, as there's only really one way in or out through the entrance. There's little bits of rubble and there's arrow slits, but it's a fairly secure spot. How do you want to proceed?
What's the pattern of the creepers like? Are they going to present a problem?
No, it's just that they're clinging up to the wall. It doesn't appear to be that they're going to cause any problems.
Do like a little... See if they follow me.
You are invisible.
They might sense me.
No response from them.
I will turn to Tower and ask, should we note this place but proceed to make sure that there's nothing threatening just over that ridge?
He'll roar.
Roll. Okay.
We'll say 2 yeses.
One is yes.
We'll have
2 no.
established this by now. 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll I'll also be looking for traps and pitfalls and anything that people might have set out for us, and we'll approach the cliffside here, take a gander out.
Okay, looking out into the city, you can see that while the whole city is just choked with ruins, There are certain structures that do kind of stand out to you from this standpoint as a little bit more sturdy. A lot of the ruins here seem to be semi-submerged in the earth, so you could pretty much hide and rest in most places and most ruins in here. You, from your current position, looking out, a couple locations do stand out to you. One is a tall temple-like structure on top of this pillar that is inside the lake of lava. It is actually, in terms of its elevation, it is lower than the closest point in the city to it. Beyond, there appears to be a huge, sprawling, circular section of the city, almost like a walled-off compound. Stands out to you as if you were in the... You can imagine, as you look at it back in the days of the original city of Omu, that looks like an important part of the Omuan history. And that's mostly it that stands out to you.
How far is the drop from the cliff here?
It's a 50-foot drop.
Right.
It's not a difficult drop, though. There's enough earth and broken rock that anyone can climb up and down it. It just takes time more than ability.
Is there a particular easier way down?
Not
Advantageous one.
Not from this position, no. It's a bit of a cliff drop to get into the city, but it's not much. The only other option would be taking the waterfall on the other side.
Tower, would you like to keep going? Do it.
Okay. As you guys explore a little bit further, do you drop down the little bit of the little cliff?
Yeah, we're gonna go check out this closest complex.
Okay. You go to the closest complex. Again, it's mostly ruins. In fact, the one closest to you is completely broken down, and it's just a bunch of rubble. But the second one is a room. It's a house, as best as you can tell. You can see evidence of what would have been living rooms or like sections of the building, but it's been 1,000 years since this place has been used properly, so everything's just dissolved and worn away. Roll perception checks, though.
Passive 19.
Passive 19, yeah, I guess. Okay. With your passive of 19, you notice there is a section of the earth in one corner of this second building that appears to be a little darker. You go up to investigate. It's covered in ash. Someone had a fire pit here at one point and then doused it out. People had camped in this room. You then begin to look for other signs of what kind of people were camped here. And by best guess, by the way in which the prints in the ground and the building, it looks like humanoids were camped here.
Does it smell like fire in here still? Does it
Still smells like fire. So it smells like it was recent, couple days maybe, most.
All right, I think that's enough. We can set up at that other complex. Bring everybody in.
Okay. So you can easily return, climb back up the broken cliffside, get back to the party without trouble.
Hi, still invisible. Don't want to scare anybody. Sorry. So looks clear initially. There is a there's a defensible place with some information. Closest place. over here. And beyond that, there is a cliff, and beyond the cliff, there is a complex. One's mostly destroyed ruins. One looks like a house, and the house contains remains of recent humanoid activity inside of it, but nothing presently.
The house that has recent activity, does it look like there was a fight of any kind?
No, not really.
Well, perhaps that would be the better choice rather than the first choice for camping out in.
You guys should check out the graffiti in this other place first, though. It's informative.
Very well. Let's have a look.
Mind the walls. There are yellow musk creepers all over them.
Shall we burn them?
Not yellow musk creepers.
Oh, just regular creepers.
Yeah, so not dangerous. This is more just like vines that creep up the side of buildings. It's not the dangerous kind that might kill you in your sleep.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Not yet,
So-
at least.
Well, you haven't annoyed them enough yet, so you should be fine. So the rest of you make your way down. You can see that wall of text, scratches and carvings. The handwritings are different, mostly because of the nature of the way in which they were carved versus painted. But even amongst those that were painted, the messages that were painted, not all of them were painted by the same person. It's fairly clear that that's the case.
Kubazan, Shagambi, and Moa, Zola, you may recall we heard while we were in Kirsabal the legend of the 9 gods.
Yes, Shagambi is the cat, the Kamadan. And Moa is the serpent, and Kubazan is a frog creature.
Well,
Frog Hemoth.
from the story, Moa was a Jakuli, and Kubazan was a Froghemoth. And Shagimbi was a Kamadan. I don't know if those are cats or frogs or what. This is your land, of course, not mine.
It's kind of like a panther.
Like Tower over there?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thomas is gonna like.
What do you think they mean by the 9 shrines? Do we think that there are shrines to each of these gods within the town, or within Omu?
That would
Well,
make sense.
if there are 9 gods to Omu, I suppose there would be a temple for each or a shrine for each.
My experience, usually the most direct thing is sometimes the clearest, so I think that's probably seems right.
Is the name Eric? Is that like the name of a famous adventurer that we might know?
Roll a history check.
While he does that, Grigori goes over to where it says "Who is Unk?" and he scratches in a flail snail.
That's so nice of you, Grigori. Are you sure you're not turning lawful good?
Averine, even with your best attempts, you don't know who Eric is. You've known Eric's, but you don't know for certain who this is, or who V might be, or if you know an Eric that might know a V.
This is an
many
Eric with a
combinations.
K, though, so I don't know if that's worth
Could be
mentioning.
unique.
No? Okay.
I'm going to give this a shot just because I have such a bad history.
Yeah, with your -1, if Averine couldn't do it with a 25,
Oh, I didn't even see the 25. Okay. Fair enough. I once knew a guy named Eric. He was kind of a jerk. So. But he was a CK, so.
Is the handwriting at least familiar?
you have had an example of this handwriting prior, so investigation checks to see if you can tell what kind of whose handwriting this might be.
Does Carmen happen to have a letter or something written in this handwriting somewhere?
I don't think so, though. Averine, the way the V is curled with the paint seems very similar to Valindra's handwriting.
She's a bee. There we
She's a
go.
bee.
So Valindra was in the heart of Utau, and now she's looking for the shrines of the 9 gods. Clearly, she's a religious aficionado with no
Zola,
ulterior
you were-
motives.
Zola was hoping to run into her again. Perhaps she'll get your wish.
Yay.
Quite pleasant to me. I'm looking forward to learning what she has discovered.
Does anybody happen to know anything about puzzle cubes? With that,
Do any of us know anything about puzzle cubes?
They exist.
Any one of you might have played with a puzzle cube as a child, but I can guarantee, since it's the entire plot of the next couple episodes, you won't know the puzzle cubes.
Okay. Well,
I think Stephen, outside of chat, makes an excellent point. That Eric is just
It's a Sararak.
is a Eric.
A Sararak.
It's
His
pet
actually is
name.
actually Eric Acer, and he wrote it in last name first name, and somebody got confused along the line. He just went with it.
He's like, a Sararak isn't intimidating, or Eric isn't intimidating enough. I need something more pizzazz.
Litchy.
What time is it by this point? No.
You've
'Cause
still
you
got a couple hours. It didn't take them long to go down, search, and then come back.
I mean, they have invisibility for an hour, if there's any more to do.
Well, I don't want to spend the night here, where every single person that could possibly walk down the stairs would find this building and say, "Hey, let's check that building out." So
yeah,
if
fair enough.
if there was a house ahead that served as someone else's camp and no signs of any fights, then perhaps we should make that our camp.
DM question.
Yep.
Changing spells. I have to meditate for an
It's
hour.
considered part of your long rest.
Right. Okay.
Okay. It is considered the last part of your long rest.
Okay. No, fair enough. I wanted to check if it was one of those things I had to do. I could do it any time, but if I have to wait an hour for it or something. But, no. Okay. I'll always.
Okay.
So where was that house you saw? Let's go check that out.
Invisibly, it'll be like, right this way.
So you guys will end up in this roofed building just off to the side here.
Grigori will be the last one out, and before he leaves, using a combination of prestidigitation and other fire-based spells, he's going to burn the interior wall to wipe it of all the writing, all the scratch marks, to try and just leave it burnt out so that there's no none of that is left up after they leave. So anyone else who comes in is just going to have a blacked out walls.
All right. So because you've got the paint, you could easily just burn off and clean off. That's no problem. But the scratches and carvings into the wall is going to be much harder for you to do with just simply fire spells and prestidigitation. So roll an Arcana check. Okay. You do well. You manage to get rid of all of the painted ones and a couple of the notes. There is still one that just won't disappear. And it is "Fear the fangs of Raz and Sea." No matter how hard you try, you just can't quite get rid of that phrase.
Not being quite willing to blow out the wall, I'll leave that be. That's fine.
Fair enough. Then, should the worst ever happen and you guys have to replace your characters, they might come in with a lack of knowledge.
Way to go.
Grigori doesn't care about hypothetical future characters.
All right.
But what if Greco is trailing right behind the whole time,
And he
he's not
gets
gonna
lost.
know? He's not gonna know about Unk.
No, but he'll know to fear the fangs of Ras
That's true.
and Sea. That's the important bit. I think we can all agree.
Greco is obviously coming in from the waterfall.
That is very true.
Yeah. You just in a shell.
Just floating, just head and arms in, just floating, shell right over the edge.
And let's be fair, no one's got to hail the King of Feathers anymore, so that one was that could go anyway.
Tower is the new king of feathers.
There we go.
He does have a feather
He's
headdress.
still Jack.
I'm still Jack.
All right.
2 hours with that one.
Eventually, the invisibility and the panther form do die out, but this is at the point where night has fallen. The sun has moved over to the west, and
These are my night
that's so
vision
that
goggles.
everything looks darker for you.
It's my night vision goggles.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then, as you guys rest for the night, you're going to need to set up watches and be active in trying to figure out, trying to protect yourselves where you are. So, who's going to take the first watch?
Will we be in the magical hut as well as the literal hut?
Yes. Magical Hut will be up.
If there aren't any objections, I'd like to see if I can spend the night in the hut. I haven't had any dreams or experienced any pulls from the ring for quite some time, and I would like to hope that it is cooperating with us. But if I don't want to do an experiment in an environment where it's much more dangerous, so if everyone is okay with me doing it now, I would like to try it.
Where
Do I believe her that she hasn't had pull from the ring?
Yeah.
Inside versus persuasion, and privately.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. You can privately roll your persuasion or deception.
How do I privately do
Is it /GM?
/ W
W.
space GM.
Of course, using the handy tools of Roll20, you can have a To the GM tab just on your character sheet. And click that, and that obviates the other stuff.
So you believe him. You believe he is not her. You believe Averine has not had any sort of. You don't trust Carmen. You don't. No. With your
She knows
nat
nothing. It's
one,
fine.
yeah.
It's normal. She'll just carry on.
Averine's behavior hasn't changed lately. There is the clear point at which the dreams of this artist begging for help died down. But since then, there has been no activity from the ring.
Where is the ring at the moment?
It's in my bag.
Okay.
As far as I know,
Just out of curiosity, did you ever cast cure, like remove curse from tower? I can't recall you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
He
Did you?
did.
Okay, right.
Over the course of a couple of days, he
Yeah.
made sure to remove curse off everyone.
Right. I'm still like Tower's gonna take first watch, and he'll still sleep outside the tent. Just that ring.
Then roll a perception check during your watch.
I will also cast an alarm on the whatever doors there are into the building.
Oh my! Samuel.
Tower's the new Shago. Doesn't matter if he's rolling for
funny.
Pijo or not.
Funny, no.
Right.
Change that to Tower. Don't roll this time.
Jack, can I just not roll 20 anymore? He doesn't like
Hate
it. Can I
you.
just take my dice, please?
As long as you're quick about it. All right. During your watch, you don't seem to notice anything that happens. A couple times there is sounds and noise that happens off in the distance, but you would associate that with just the average sounds of the jungle. Really, a couple screams of something in the around the corner. Not much that's threatening, so you're good. Who do you pass off your watch to? To Averine. Averine, go ahead and roll a perception check. Would you accept Pijo's help on your watch?
Sure.
Yeah. So both of you roll perception checks.
While they do that, is the standard watch 3 watches or 4?
Any watch is 2 hours long. You can't spend more than 2 hours of your long rest doing anything other than being on watch.
Right.
Okay. Nice. So together, you guys do hear a little bit more defined noise. Sounds of creatures just muttering along in the distance. It's fairly close. You can make the assumption that the noise that you're hearing is coming from inside the city, but doesn't seem to be so close to you that it's a danger. However, after about an hour and a half into your watch, you do both clearly hear a well-defined scream from one of them. It disappears, echoes, and then you hear a tss.
Great. The language that, the speaking we hear, is it a language that either of us knows or at least has heard recently enough to know what it is or what's speaking?
I highly doubt either of you know this language.
I probably doubt that too.
As they have a very specific language. This type of creature has its own language.
Okay. Averin, do you know what that is? It doesn't sound good.
I couldn't quite make out the dialect. But it
Should we
sounded
go
like someone took a dive into the lava.
Do you want to go check it out?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure you're sure?
Absolutely.
You're the reason I'm still alive, you know that.
Let's just, if anything comes close, that's our job, to make sure that we wake everyone else up. It's not our
Okay.
job to go exploring things that are happening elsewhere at this moment. Perhaps tomorrow morning when we can talk about it with everyone.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Then at the end of your 2 hours, you pass on to someone else who's taking the third watch. Zola and Carmen, both of you roll perception.
I'll let them know about the sound that we heard.
Okay. All right. During your watch, everything's fairly quiet. Nothing really happens. Though, Zola, you don't hear anything any sort of ritualistic activity going on. Whatever happened was confined to the time that was being watched previously. Then the last watch goes by, and I believe that leaves Grigori.
Grigori, last watch. I have one of the worst perceptions in the team, but that was a pretty good night for me. Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
boy.
see a dragon.
Just right there.
Secrets and whispers.
Okay, let's see. 2 GM.
Players, do not look at the stream.
Can the players see the stream?
Well,
Oh, because
Twitch.
Oh, cool.
I stay very quiet and watch.
okay. Then this troop of Yuan-Ti walk past the hut. They are being led by red wizards.
Do they have the triangles on their head?
They all have the triangles. They seem to glow in the light. That's effectively what you see first, is this horde of triangles just glowing like spotlights moving through, and then they pass and walk away. They lead off to the north to some direction, and they go past your group. Do you follow?
I cast invisibility on myself and I follow them without telling anybody.
You should wake up, Hazel. He wants to go.
Nope. Now,
No.
for me, for my rest, in terms of spell slots, how does this work out?
Okay, as long as you do not do anything more than just light activity within this rest, and you don't spend more than 1 hour in battle, you will be able to gain the full benefits of a long rest as soon as your watch is over.
Mage armor, invisibility, following behind at a discreet distance.
Okay. Stealth check with advantage, because you're invisible.
No.
Oh,
No.
You've got a blessing. You've got a blessing.
you should
Oh,
bless it.
wait. Yeah, use my favorite of the gods to maybe not fail so hard. Where's the button?
I think we were talking about your advantage.
You
Yeah.
also have a inspiration card.
Oh, yeah.
which-
Yes.
Inspiration.
Let's use that inspiration card.
I don't want to kill Grigori right now, so
I should say, I'm following at a discreet distance. There we go. There's my inspiration.
all right. So you've played your inspiration card. I'm assuming you used it to re-roll the d20 you just rolled.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so
I chucked my favorite of the gods on there.
okay. Plus, favorite of the gods wouldn't work in this case. Just FYI.
Then I didn't use it, and I'm keeping that for later. All right.
Because you've used the card, play it to the table, Matthew,
Let's see.
and then I'll
Here's-
delete it.
There
Drag
we
and
go.
drop it to the table.
There we go. Did I play it right?
It doesn't look like it because it's still in your hand. Drag and drop it to the table. There we go.
There it is.
I can
Just
see
listen.
it. Let me get rid of this. All right. So you've used that up. You quietly make your way forward. As you do, you follow this group of Yuan-Ti and Red Wizards to this walled compound north of your current sleeping spot.
Mm-hmm.
They pass into it and they begin to talk amongst themselves. They have a guide, an individual that is clearly not of either group. He is a fairly thin fellow, bald head, enormous mustache. He talks with a strange accent and is communicating between these two little groups at the moment. Do you get close enough to listen in?
I'd like
Are
to be
you
close
looking
enough to hear. Yeah.
Okay. Roll perception.
Well, here's okay. Yeah. That I would try to get as close as I felt comfortable without being. Yeah.
It would have been great to have a really pretty sneaky Eric Kokoro with you on this mission, wouldn't it have been, huh?
PG's performance to this point has not made me believe he's anything more than a liability in this kind of situation.
That's fair enough.
You hear a few pieces of key information, but you don't quite get the full conversation that is being shared.
But it's in
What languages do you speak? Because they are
Infernal and Celestial.
they are speaking common. Because he only speaks. Well, no, he speaks a lot of other languages, but he speaks common to them to make sure they understand it.
Okay.
The guide and whatnot. The guide happens to have a map of the locations of the 9 shrines. That much you hear. The Yuan-Ti and the Red Wizards want what's in the shrines, whatever that is. You do also hear mention Razen-C has a puzzle cube. Okay. That's what you hear. Now in your position, you look and you see another group of individuals walking by, all dressed like Red Wizards. However, no triangle. This opposing group make their way up to this point in proper commando-like fashion. They start swarming the walled compound. Spells go off. Explosions erupt. Everyone else gets woken up to find Grigori's missing. And there's sounds of battle not far from here.
Where's Grigori?
Where the fun is, obviously.
What is everyone else?
Pijo is
Like
immediately
it's,
getting geared up and ready to go. He is psyched.
Yeah, I'm jumping at the entrance, waiting for everybody else. Come on.
I'm going to
Okay.
cast invisibility on myself.
All right. So as everyone starts heading out, how are you going to find Grigori, as he's currently invisible and hiding?
In my mind, I understood that you see this door to the right here of the compound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm outside that because I wasn't going to be stupid enough to go in the wall, but just kind of hanging out around there. All right.
And it's through that entrance that the other wizards came through and started flinging spells.
So whereabouts is this guy taken down? I'm a bit confused. They're in the next compound?
Inside here.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. How?
It's a large walled compound here.
Grigori is missing, and there's all sorts of mayhem happening up north. I think we should assume that he's somehow responsible, if not indirectly, directly.
Zola's gonna launch off at this point, stealthily.
Okay. So, stealth checks from anyone that is heading up trying to be stealthy. If you're not, that's okay.
Wait. We go together, and then I'll cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay. As you cast Pass Without a Trace, it makes up for Avarine's position. Now, what's your passive perception, Grigori?
My passive perception is 11.
All right. Do I have a stealth check from everyone else? Yep. Okay. So, Grigori is completely enraptured by everything that's going on, the explosions, the battle, that he doesn't see the party approaching him from behind. Now, Avarine, who has a passive perception of 17 or higher? I think it's Tower and Zola, right? Yeah. So Tower and Zola, you notice only just as you're approaching this walled compound, the entrance to the walled compound, in your quiet little group, that there is a portion of the grass in front of the entryway that isn't behaving like any other grass, as if something is stood on top of it and stopping it from being able to blow in the wind or be affected by ash or fire that's landing around here. Someone is invisibly stood right there.
Draw my sword.
I'm going to flatten my back against the wall and very quietly whisper, "Betsy."
Do I hear that with an 11?
Yes, you'll have heard that because she's trying to make her presence known.
All right, so I see the group at this point, and I see Pijo, Tower, Avarine, and Zola.
Oh,
Everyone but Carmen because she's
Oh,
invisible.
Right. I am going to drop invisibility and then cast it again at 4th level to hit Pijo, Avarine, and Tower. Nope, Pijo, Avarine, and myself. Tower and Zola are not going to get it.
Okay. While you guys are stood outside the walled compound, as a group, you're not noticed, and you watch as this battle continues to ensue. Do any of you choose to get involved?
Shh, guys. While you were resting, a group of Yuan-Ti came by. They're here, and then a bunch of red wizards of the other faction have recently been attacking. Clearly they don't like each other. Let's just wait and see how this rides out, and then whoever comes out on top, let's see what we want to do with that. But shh.
Okay.
I wish I had popcorn.
As the explosions and the spells go back and forth, you watch as wizard after wizard, Yuan-Ti, men, all begin to fall. One by one, the magics being used in the attacks are brutal, but every single person involved dies.
Is this a
Smoke
last man
lazily
standing kind of thing?
rises. There is no one left standing, from
Sounds
what you
like
can see.
Sounds like
The
Arthur.
walled compound has broken. In the center of the compound, you can see that there is a domed structure that had a glass-like roof. That is completely shattered and caved in on itself. Everyone around you, all of the bodies of the Red Wizards, both friend and foe, technically, are all dead on the floor. What do you guys do?
Can we check to see if the commotion has drawn any other reinforcements or any other activity?
Roll a perception check.
I cast Detect Thoughts to see if I can hear the thoughts of anyone that I can't see.
Beyond us, because you can listen to what Gregori's thinking.
It is the fourth paragraph.
I'm looking at it specifically, so you can use this spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see. When you cast a spell or as your action during the duration, you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. The spell can penetrate. You can't detect a creature with an intelligence of 3 or lower. All right. Yeah, once you detect the presence of a creature in this way, you can then read its thoughts for the rest of the duration, as described above. You don't sense any invisible minds, but you do sense one mind, one, not like invisible, you sense one foreign voice. It is not a Red Wizard, it's not a Yuan-Ti. The accent is, the thoughts are weird. There is someone alive amidst the rubble.
I'll say, there's still someone alive. And I'll start heading towards wherever those thoughts I can detect.
Is ours perception check? See anything?
Nothing else has been drawn to this location as of right now that you can see.
We have a short time before anyone may come back. Let's do this quickly. Mapenzi, please open any doors to make sure none of them are trapped. Everyone else, search. We have 5 minutes. Go.
Do my thing, jump from bush to bush.
Averine uses the detect thoughts, and it zones in on that central point where the wall, the domed structure, has been collapsed inside. The voice is under the rubble. You just hear, "Oh, help! I need to get out of here."
Someone help! There's someone trapped underneath the rocks.
Detect magic.
Grigori is going through Red Wizard pockets looking for magic items and gear.
Yeah,
Or no,
I'm also looting.
that's why I cast Detect Magic.
To answer your question, Black Steve 420, they are in the city of Omu. In Chult. So there are no magic weapons or items. It would appear that both squads of individuals would have behaved in some way that they don't want to leave traces behind if they were to fall. So while you'll find basic material components that might be used for spells, you won't see any personal belongings. You dig through the rubble and you see this guide individual, bald head, the thin guy, turn and look up at you. "What? Which side are you on?"
We're not with them. Come with us if you want to live.
Oh. All right. The fellow, do you help him out of the rubble?
Yeah.
Lift him up, and I prepared for this. This is the patron's fault.
Yay!
Oh, I love it.
I've never worn one of these before. That's kind of uncomfortable. All right.
Brilliant.
I cast Charm Person.
It doesn't work on him. No. All right. So he needs to.
Hey,
roll a-
friend. Glad we pulled you out okay.
Yes, it's very good. Very good to be out. Where are we going?
Away from here. Surely that caused a ruckus.
Yes, probably. Let's go.
Your friends, do you wish to see to them?
They paid me up front. So, no.
What does this mean? I do not understand.
It means that there's no benefit for him to look after them anymore. As such, they're
I
not
see.
friends they were paid for.
Okay.
So don't worry, it's okay.
Are you in need of guide?
No, we got rid of our guide.
If you have anything to say, let's say it away from here, because I think they have drawn attention. So let's get out of here.
As we're leaving, can I examine the place to see what it could have been used for, or why they were here? If it's a place where they live.
Grigori's also quickly going to poke around the buildings and corners just to see what's up.
Roll perception or investigation checks. Okay, so 27,
Performance.
19. Okay. The initial purpose of this walled compound looks like what you could assume to be a market square of sorts. What has recently been used for, it would appear the Red Wizards have been using this as kind of a base of operations, just a safe space for them to communicate, organize, and then move out. Yeah. So you move back to your hiding place.
Okay.
Let's go!
Away from all of the dangers with your new friend. Hello, my name is Ulfbert Hoss. I will spell that out.
Ulfbert Hoss.
Yes, Ulfbert.
Ulfbert.
Do you often repeat people's names when you first meet them?
Yes.
Only when we wish to remember them.
Okay. And who are you?
Heroes.
Right.
Are we
We're the
still-
people that are still alive right now.
True. Well,
What brings you to Omu?
oh, discovery. I was hired.
By whom?
Well, by them. Did you not see them?
There are many dead people in there. I don't know to whom you are referring. Apparently they weren't all friends. I presume you didn't work for all of them.
Oh no. But the wizarding folk with the snake people, they hired me.
Slytherins.
Why did they need a guide?
They needed someone who understood ancient ruins, and that's what I was here for.
You understand ancient ruins, friend.
Not understand, but I've been in many a place. You could call me an archaeologist.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Say it after me. Archaeologist.
Archaeologist.
Perfect.
Aha!
See,
Whoa.
you did not want us to repeat your name, but you want us to keep it. I do not understand.
It's okay.
Titles are more important than names.
Ulfbert.
So did the people that you were working for, did they have triangles on their heads?
Mm-hmm. Strange tattoos. Brands more likely than tattoos, but yes.
And if they hired you to explore ruins, sounds like they were looking for something, which is weird because I thought they were the ones that already knew everything.
Did I hear you say something about puzzle cubes and Ras Nasi?
It wasn't me that said it, but one of the UNT that was with me. He happened to mention that Razency already has one of the puzzle cubes.
What's a puzzle cube?
A little toy thing. You play with it, and it usually unlocks things.
Oh. Why would Ras Nasi want a toy?
Wow. Let's come close. I have heard rumors that Razency isn't happy with his current position.
What is his position?
Basically like a glorified guard captain. But he's tired of it, from what they say. So, I was hired to help them uncover the secrets of the shrines and get them past the door.
Who is Rasnasi's superior? Who is he trying to impress?
I have no idea. But if anyone is superior to Razency, then that's a big bad person.
Oh, indeed. So trying to get past the door, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the door here in the center of Omu?
The center of Omu. Have you been to the center of Omu?
Oh, not before, but I've heard tell that there's a powerful machine here in this town, and is that what you're referring to?
Machine?
I'm straight bluffing, by the way. Like, I'm straight, like, trying to pretend I know stuff I don't know, to see if I can get him to talk more.
I don't know anything about a machine.
Where's the door he wants to get into?
Oh, it's on the northern cliffside.
What's in the door?
I don't know. I just know you need the 9 cubes to get in.
9.
Yes, 9.
Do you know where the other ones are?
Well, my studies, my understanding is that each of these cubes are being watched over by the shrines. Shrines to 9 gods. Do you know anything about the dealings of gods? Then you must appease the gods to get the puzzle cube. Get the cube, get the door, get whatever's behind it.
That doesn't sound too hard.
So we
That's
need
what I was paid to find out. Do you want
So-
any more information?
the cubes to get through the door. And Raznisi has one of the cubes.
Yes.
Do you know if anyone else has any of the other cubes?
Not that I know of. But
So
I was working with one group of red wizards. I don't know if the other group of red wizards have cubes.
So you
Have you
just
come across an Eric?
Eric?
Have you
Who's
met Eric?
Is
No.
that important? Should I have met an Eric?
No, I'm just curious.
So you've
I'm
just
sorry.
started working with the Red Wizards and you haven't found any cubes, is that right?
Correct.
Do you know where the
What?
shrines are?
Inside this guy.
Aha.
Do you know the 9 gods?
What?
Do you know of the 9 gods?
I've heard the legends. I studied it. I heard about the ruins, the shrines. I know where the shrines are. And
If you were to,
leans
then
into
you
his
have
pocket.
heard of Moa, yes?
Yes.
What quality, if you could say in one word, would you give her?
I think Mo is a him.
Let me think. What do I know about Moa? Moa. Just double checking my notes on Moa. Moa was a Jakuli. And Moa, I would hazard a guess and say, after my notes, Moa was honest. Very honest.
Insight check.
Roll an insight check.
See if he to determine how well he knows. If he's trying to blag it, or if he's
He seems fairly confident. You would have watched him reciting, more or less, the legend of the Nine Gods, and he would have gotten to the point where he's like, Ubtao asked the jungle animals where his water was hidden, and Moa the Jakuli was too honest to lie. Honest! Moa was honest. Yes, I know where the shrines are. I have a little map here.
Oh, indeed. Well, friend, care to share that with us?
Not for free.
I could kill you instead.
Go ahead, you won't understand my shorthand.
Well, if you travel with us, then you can continue doing your research and trying to find things without being alone. So it's kind of a strength in numbers thing. If you go with us, we can attempt to protect you.
Roll a persuasion check.
Boom!
I like this woman.
Thank you.
Okay. He pulls out the map, and it's in a two-part map. One is a basic outline of Omu. The other is an overlay that you put over the top, and then you get an idea of where the 9 shrines are. After lining them up, I will mark them on the map for you.
Was he lying about not being able to understand his shorthand? Can I totally understand this shorthand?
You might be able to understand his shorthand, but without his version of the both maps, you might not have known which way the overlay has to be placed.
Sure.
So you might have gotten information.
Carmen's just going to look at Zola and just go,
I believe that's them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Power is confused. I thought there was 9, but I see 18 and 16.
That's part of the shorthand.
that's no chance there are.
There we go. 19. The last one was
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 7, 8, 9.
Where's they
So
trying?
everything with a spot that it has a number is one of the shrines. Ignore the number. That's for my reference.
Do you know which puzzle cube belongs to which shrine, and which one perhaps Raznisi already has acquired?
I don't know. All I know is that, well, from what I heard, Raznisi already has Unk's puzzle cube. But I don't know which one is Unk's
Who is
shrine.
The flail snail.
Rails name?
The peaceful one, the neutral one.
What do you know of Raznisi?
Have you
He's
ever
a vile monstrosity.
stood before him?
Well, before him, behind him, quite a distance away from him. I prefer to stay a distance away.
Where are his forces currently located in the city now?
They're below the city. The Yuan-Ti have a sprawling compound below the city.
Where is the entrance?
Somewhere inside the circular compound. They had me blindfolded before I came in, so I couldn't see the exact entrance.
All right, in that one.
We've heard stories of this Raznisi fella being commanding a large army and laying waste to all over Chult. And confusingly, this has happened some time ago. Perhaps you have an idea as to why this fella is so long lived.
Oh, well, yes. He's not quite undead, but he's close.
Mostly undead.
Almost undead.
Which means
Which
slightly
means
alive.
slightly alive.
Yes.
If we can talk shop, I'm fairly well versed in matters arcane. Can you be more specific with regard to not quite undead?
Well, let me see if I can pull something out of my hat right now.
Is he wearing a hat?
No, he's bald.
Did he pull it out of his mustache?
Has he got one of those fake toupees that he takes off and sweats?
As from what I understand, the history books tell us, Razan C wasn't originally a Yuan-Ti. He was a man who, in charge of a great army, led them in battle, and then became Yuan-Ti. I've never heard of a person becoming Yuan-Ti, and so he became something somewhere in between Yuan-Ti and Undead. By best accounts, and he draws basically a snake. Think mummified snake.
That sounds terrifying.
I got to look at him once. It was not a good sight. He was training his people, teaching them how to treat humans properly.
And how are humans to be properly treated?
With the right kind of spices. It wasn't a good sight.
I can almost picture the fella as you describe him, and I almost can sense that in your description of him, he bears a triangle on his head. Is that right?
I believe so. Let me double check. Open that image again. Yes. Yes, he does.
Do you know what significance this triangle has?
Oh, that's his symbol.
Oh, so the triangle-headed, the triangle brand is to indicate alliance to Raznisi?
More subservience. But yes. Yes.
Can we put them on our own foreheads to blend?
Do you know how to make them glow?
Grigori?
Yes, Pijo.
Do you know how to make things glow?
If you would like me to embed a coal of fire onto your head, I could certainly do that.
Well, that was very aggressive. We
It's the
don't know
only-
now.
Indeed.
This Raznisi, he is man. Does he still bear fangs?
Well, the creature that he became does have fangs.
We saw a note in the building down the road that said to fear the fangs of Raznisi. Is this meant metaphorically? Or is there something unique about his mouth that we should be alerted to?
I not that I know of, but I wouldn't want to get bitten by anything, so I'd beware of his mouth.
There's another note written by someone who goes by the name Valindra. She says that she's also seeking the shrines. Have you come across a young elf lady by the name of Valindra?
Valindra. I don't know of Valindra, but I do know elf women.
Here within the city?
Yes, yes. The Lich woman.
What?
Yes.
We're probably
Where is
talking about
she?
someone else.
Oh, okay.
Where is
That
the
was
Lich woman?
She was... I don't know. I mean, when I last saw her, she was hiring me from the port.
Ports.
Nine-Zaro.
So
She hired me, took me up here, dropped me off with the people. I've been working with them to discover the secret of these shrines.
So she's allied with Raz's forces.
I think so.
Yeah, we think so.
I'm not sure. She doesn't have a triangle.
So
did.
she hired you for your expertise in finding the shrines?
Yes, I speak Old Omuan.
Oh,
Yet-
indeed.
She appears to be seeking the shrines out apart from you. At least that's what her note would suggest, unless you were beside her when she left the note up in the house. No.
I don't know anything about a note. If she thinks she can get the shrines without me, well, she's already paid me, so that's up to her.
So what of those other? So a red wizard hired you. You're working for the UNT, but what of the other red wizards who just stumbled into that compound just now and caused so much ruckus?
Something tells me they don't get along too well.
Do you know who is pulling their chain, as it were?
No. Do you?
Oh, I've no idea. All this is so new and strange to me.
I find that hard to believe.
Speaking of a ruckus,
I assure you, I know nothing of the sort.
speaking of a ruckus, I heard a ruckus earlier. It was a ruckus of people speaking a language that I've never heard before. Might be this old Omuan. What was that?
I don't know.
Do I believe?
Well, how long ago was the noise?
I
When
don't
was the
know.
noise heard?
Like 3 hours or so?
Can you replicate the noise, Pichu?
I can't. I'm sorry.
And it could be anything.
Well, it sounded like something maybe fell into that big old pit of lava.
Yes, you don't want to do that.
Well, yeah. You think so? I was curious if you know anything that was going on about that, since you seem to be dealing with these people. Maybe you were with them there, perchance?
No, I only just got into the city. We were outside.
I'm rolling an insight check on that.
It's all true.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
before those wizards went waking everyone up, we were enjoying a long rest before setting out on our exploration throughout the city. I'd invite you to join us in finishing our long rest, and then we'll set out to see what we can find. How's that sound?
That sounds pretty good. I haven't had a rest in a while, so a little bit of a shut-eye would be quite nice, yes.
And to be clear, is your interest to come along and do some archaeological study, or now that your apparent employers or charges are dead and you've been paid up front, will you be leaving and heading back to Port Nyanzaru?
Well, the red woman has convinced me I should... not the red woman, nope. Yeah, because you're a little brown, aren't you? Yeah, you're red. Zola. That I might as well stick around, see what's actually inside the shrines. But I'll be sticking around from a distance. Don't expect me to get involved in any nonsense.
Can I ask you one more question about the UNT?
You can ask me as many questions as you like.
Thank you. When you were hanging out with them, while you were with them, did you get the sense that they were primarily loyal to Raz? Or did you get the sense that they were more loyal to whoever's controlling him?
I would actually say a little bit of neither. It would appear the UNT are following him because he seems to be progressing the way of the UNT. But there are people that seem unhappy with some of the things he does. Might be possible that they don't agree with him, but they follow him because they have no other choice.
Thank you.
I often find that UNT are just misunderstood.
I like you. I like your mustache.
Thank you.
Can I insight that bit about the UNT?
Yeah, go ahead. It itches and I keep getting hairs inside my mouth.
Well, you look great.
You believe him.
Great.
Oh, you guys will bed down, you'll rest, you'll go to sleep, and then bright and early as the sun rises and you've had the full benefits of your full long rest. I'm taking that off. Because that's uncomfortable.
But the little like, yeah, I can't describe it. That was great. Spectacular.
Thanks. So, what do you want to do on this morning? Ulfbert is going to take a little bit longer to sleep because he hasn't slept in a while. So you've got, unless you force him to wake up, he'll actually sleep in an extra hour or so.
I'll give us time to go back. Tao wants to go back to the staircase and do the plant growth spell and attempt to, it's like 100-foot radius. I'm going to attempt to drag in all the vines and turn that whole area overgrown so you can't even see that there's actually stairs there.
Okay. All right, so you're just using an action to cast it, so all of the plant growth. Okay. As you begin to cast the spell and draw in the plant growth, it seems like the plant growth is unwilling to touch those steps. You manage to thicken everything else. You even get beyond that, so you make the land just above the steps much thicker, and the plant growth seems to almost begin to grow in a dome-like structure over the top of the steps.
Once I see I can't touch that, I will try and just cover up the front of it so people can't, and up around the side so you can't, just obscure that whole area.
So you can be fairly confident that any creature coming through is going to have a harder time of finding the correct entrance, but the steps themselves can't be touched.
Okay.
I will take the map and try to memorize it, and in fact make some notes, kind of a simpler map, so that in the event something terrible or unfortunate were to happen to this one, I have a backup copy.
Sounds good.
I'll be sending a message home.
What's your message home going to be?
It's going to just be to my father, just say, how are you doing? Haven't spoken in a while. Reached Omu. Hope you're not in any more trouble.
I'm fine. We are all together. Everything's okay from this side. Don't worry about us. Keep yourself safe. Do what you must. I think that's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it quickly.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
As soon as those 25 words are done, you do hear another message almost immediately afterwards.
Okay.
That's fascinating to hear someone's voice for the first time in a while. Enjoy your stay in my city. Don't get lost.
Uh-oh.
What is uh-oh?
Uh-oh. I just sent a message home, and somebody then just sent a message back to me, and it was after my dad sent me a message.
Send the message back to him. Oh, I do not
send-
discriminate.
You can respond. It sounded male,
Okay.
but it also sounded distant and distinct.
Okay.
You can respond if you wish, but knowing what a sending spell does,
Yeah.
you won't get a response unless they try again.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna. Well, I don't know them, though, do I? So can I send a sending spell? Because I have to.
No. They send a spending spell to you. You get a
Right.
response.
You get
so I
to
can
respond.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So I'll reply going, "Hello. Nice to hear another voice. We're just passing through. Who are you? You sound interesting."
No response.
Okay.
But you feel that at least your understanding of sending is such that your presence is known to at least one other individual.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
this spell
I will tell everyone exactly what was said, so they all know.
does this spell normally can it be intercepted, Avery? I thought the purpose was person to person.
Those were my thoughts. I didn't think. You have a much more academic understanding. I did not believe interception of those messages was possible.
There is historical evidence of certain demi-planes being controlled in such a way that those that have complete power over the area also are able to do things like this. You don't know to the extent, but Averine does know that there is precedence for magic being altered within certain specific zones. And this could be one of them.
There is precedent. And it suggests a level of control, as if a demigod had control over this region and was interested in our comings and goings.
I hope that's not Roz's boss.
He was himself. I wished to transgress this area unobserved. It seems like we have the element of surprise is not with us anymore.
Well, there are
Sorry.
also multiple factions, so it would still be good to use discretion as we travel, so as not to draw attention from one or the other.
I would suggest we do not use these messaging spells, or if we do, we need to make sure our details are confined to one specific.
I'm good. No more from me.
No,
No.
I do not wish you not to speak to your father. This is not my suggestion, but keep it vague.
It's fine.
He may not know it is us. He may think it is other red wizards.
I'm fine. He's fine. We're fine. I don't have to speak to him for a while. We're fine.
By now, Oofbut wakes up. Are we ready to go? Where are we going?
Aye, let's set out at once and see what we can learn about one of these shrines.
Which
Time
one
for
do you
adventure.
wish to? Which one should we approach first?
Well,
The
it looks
one
like
across from the battle last night, or the one behind it?
that first one looks like we could keep close to the cliffs to make our way there, so that would offer us greater stealth opportunities, perhaps.
And we can retrace our steps from the prior evening to see if anyone has come to investigate what happened, or if that is left undone.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should move and stay close. One with great beady face.
Would we have had tracks from the night before? Because didn't Tower cast Pass Without Trace?
It was metaphorical traps, Pijo, not literal tracks. When I refer to retracing our tracks back.
I don't like you.
Not many people do. Don't worry.
I don't like you either.
I adore you.
You feel that way. You feel that way until you need something. Your tune will change then.
But you are you.
Isn't that right, Aberreen?
No, you feel that way after as well.
So, as you guys set out, you start to hug the wall of the cliff here to try and stay on the outside. You're heading up towards that shrine that's just on the edge of the cliff. As you get there, though, you begin to hear that language again. You all begin to hear the sound of the creatures. You're just tiny little creatures, but you don't quite understand what they're saying. They come into view. You see little...
Are they chwingers?
Not quite chwingers. Roll a history or survival checks to see if any of you have ever dealt with or would know what this is.
Did we fight those already? No. I'm thinking. Okay.
Yes.
Is this an intelligence roll that has to do with the forest that I can get an advantage on?
Yes, you can.
All right.
We did fight some.
Look at that -1 intelligence still getting me.
All right.
decent.
So actually fairly well. Most of you have heard of these kinds of creatures before. These are veggie pygmies.
Oh yeah, that was
And
our
we
first
fought
fight.
we fought one of these.
Oh yeah,
before.
you did. You did. That was the first
Pijo
one.
did not though, so he
True.
at least has to remember.
Right. However, there is another individual with them that you notice is currently in chains. Tied up appears to be a tiny little frog creature.
It's so cute.
It looks like a little Greco.
But it might be the frog monster.
They're so cute. Can they be a player race? Oh my gosh.
Would you like to kill off Picho so that we can find out?
No, I really like that. Sorry. I'll back off now.
That's okay. These veggie pygmies have tied up this grung and are marching him up to the top of this position. You guys watch. While these veggie pygmies don't care about you in any way, they are performing their ritual. They march him up and bring him right to the end where they turn. The one that's holding him turns around, raises a staff, shouts out loud to the rest of the group. Do you guys do anything? It's clear they're about to sacrifice the grung.
How far away from us are they?
Only a couple, maybe 100 or 20, 150 foot or so. Like it's not.
Exactly in the range of a longbow from here.
Oh, yeah.
Did we understand the veggie pygmy language again? We didn't understand it, did we?
No, you don't understand veggie pygmy unless you do something that allows you to be able to understand it.
And did
At the
you
time.
say it seemed like they didn't care that we're there, or that they are not even aware of our presence?
They have seen your presence. They don't care about it.
Okay.
Oh, so weren't we stealthing on cost pass about trays?
Did anyone roll? No. Okay.
No, we didn't roll stealth at casting. If we weren't stealthing, I retract the cast.
Okay, fair enough.
So
if you don't do anything, you'll watch as this Vegapygmy lowers his staff, puts it on the forehead of the little grung, who then starts responding in his own language.
Do I know anything about grung? Have I heard any stories about them? Or like what kind of entities they are to the jungle?
The grung. Roll a history check. All you would know is that they are aggressive, extremely territorial.
We do not know which type of dispute this is. We should not get involved.
It also said beware the frog monster. So
but they're
maybe
so
just be
cute.
careful of frogs.
And
Yeah.
with that,
Any deceptive, cute things that can be very vicious.
Yeah.
the Vegapygmy leader uses his staff to just push the grung over the edge. It falls screaming in its grung language before ending with a plume of black smoke rises up from that position, almost picking up the grung with it, but doesn't.
Is this effectively the same thing? Does it sound like what I heard the night before?
Sounds almost exactly like what you heard before, so they must have done another sacrifice last night.
What
The
time
bird
is it?
keeps walking because they're distracted. Now's just a good time to keep walking.
Keep
No disturbing
walking.
people. Let's go.
Is it exactly 12 hours, do we feel, from the last one?
Yes.
Okay.
No, well, it's
Trying to see if there's a pattern.
close to about 8 or 9 hours.
Okay.
Should we communicate with these pygmy fellows and try to make friends within the city?
Can we communicate with them?
If it's possible for Grigori to just express through his face that that's an incredibly dumb idea, I do.
I have the ability to speak any language. I haven't been understanding because I wasn't sure if we should get involved in that dispute. But if we feel that there may be some benefit to learning about what they're doing.
Grigori's walked away. He's heading toward the shrine, stealthily, quietly.
I do recall that these creatures were quite territorial themselves, were they not? And very aggressive if provoked.
Aye.
Perhaps keeping our distance would not cause them to react to us.
Sure, it would make things simpler if we just completely avoided them. But I wonder if there's perhaps some sort of advantage that of befriending one side or the other.
We do not know what side these creatures are on. They may serve Ras Nasi, or they may oppose him.
They could
We
just
cannot be sure.
No, you make a good point. We want to stay out of his awareness, and they may be affiliated with him.
They
Did
are
we
not
notice-
into lava. It's probably not a good thing.
Did we notice any triangles on their foreheads?
There are no triangles on their
Okay.
foreheads.
Okay.
And after they finish their little ritual, they do begin to make their way back down this break in the city, back to their little hovel, leaving you unrestricted access up towards
they
the
gone down
first
here?
shrine.
Is that what we said?
Yeah, they've gone down there.
Okay.
Out of your way.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
So-
the RPC has given them some leniency, but Maybe
So
he
you
did,
guys, yeah,
but
sorry.
Let us move.
So which shrine are you going to? 3 or 4? Which one's first?
3.
4? 3?
3.
Okay. And as you skirt around the edge, doesn't look like anyone has approached to investigate the ruins of the battle from the night before. You are able to get around to the camp. I'm going to move you all to the shrine. We have a map of it.
Fancy.
So bear with me 1 second while I do that.
Oh,
The exterior of this map is a little bit limited, so if you want to stay back, you'll have to just describe the fact that you are staying back. Okay. You'll get what I mean now.
oh,
Perhaps we should leave a message on the dead bodies to suggest that the person that communicated that Carmen's message was actually the Red Wizards, and we should leave a message implying this. Throw him off the scent. These bodies have only been a few hours dead. They will not be able to tell too badly. If
We
it
do
was
not know enough about the power structure to know who even to implicate. It's quite clear that the two factions met and fought. Whoever's responsible, I don't think, is material.
and equally, if they're all men, it's not going to work.
If we implied we are the Red Wizards, and there are more of our number, then perhaps we could throw them off and have them searching the city for that instead. But
Well, they have no reason to search for us now. If we leave trace of us, then we invite a search, which seems imprudent.
Okay. So as you guys make your way around to this shrine, you see a rectangular pool of murky water stretches before this vine-covered shrine in front of you. Rope bridges once spanned this little square, this little rectangle, have since been broken. There are still some remains of the rope bridges and the slacks within the river, but not much. At the center of this this rectangle, you can see a statue that climbs up out of the water with its mouth wide open, raised up to the sky. It appears to be in the form of some stone frog in this water. In front of the shrine, you can see these pillars too. One has broken and fallen into the water, the other hasn't. On the pillar, there is Old Omuan, which is then translated once. The translation that comes from anyone that can speak Omo plus Ufbert is Kubazan urges us to tread without fear and to give back as much as we take. As you stand in front of this shrine, we're going to take a 15-minute break.
Oh!
Dun, dun, dun.
So, join us in 15 minutes after we've had a bit of a break. But on your screens fairly soon, you should see tonight's Who's That Monster? So, type away in the chat, tell us what you think it is, and then once the break is over, we'll see who got it right. All right, see you in 15. Bye. When you're dead, and then that's it. When you wait. Okay.
Oh, no.
Welcome back, everyone, after the break. Thanks for sticking with us. So, today's Who's That Monster is, drum roll, the Fire Newt Warrior.
Fire
So,
Warrior.
It was the creature that the players faced off in their honorable duel last session. If you're watching this with the rebroadcast, the reason why it was such a short break is because it's a rebroadcast. Just thought I'd mention that. to you all now. Okay.
The wonders of technology, time travel.
All right, so we rejoin the adventure. You guys are at the edge of the water, right at the edge of this shrine right now. You can see beyond the rectangular pool, which you can easily walk around. There's no reason why you can't. There is a broken, old, dilapidated, walled structure. It is rectangular and square in its very own shape. There are 2 stone doors right in front, just as Grigori has gone straight there. What do you guys want to do?
How deep does the water look from where we are?
You can't see past the surface of the water.
Okay. Is it
Dirty.
just like it's dirty? Okay.
It's dirty. Grigori, from where you're stood, you can quite clearly see there is a huge lock embedded into the center of the 2 double doors.
Can I cast Shape Water and as a cantrip and try and clear the murky water to see how deep it is? Part of the thing. I can tell
How much space?
Quite-
Yeah,
all-
you can do it with a 5-foot square, right?
Yeah.
Past the 5-foot square that you can manipulate, there's murky water all around it.
Okay, so it's deeper than 5 foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily deeper than 5 foot.
Okay.
Can I
Quite deep picture.
Thank you.
Zola?
can I take my sword and kind of poke at this lily pad, trying to not spear it, but see how buoyant it is.
Okay.
See if it could support some weight.
The smaller lily pads probably couldn't support anyone's weight unless they were really light. The larger lily pads might be able to support someone's weight. Well, pretty much will support someone's weight if they're very light.
I will say to Zola, I can create ice sheets if that will suffice.
Probably see a doctor about that.
Just 1 sheet.
You mention ice, and Averine's bag gets just a little bit colder.
Settle down.
I think I'm going to.
Matthew, I think you're muted.
If I walk around the building, do I see anything?
You don't see any other way inside the building.
Can I look for like? I'm gonna go into the building, start looking for marking.
Well,
In
the
a
building
romantic
has a
area.
closed door.
Just trying to look for any kind of markings or any symbolisms or anything that would give us any clues about what we're supposed to do here.
So the front of the door appears to be one big stone structure, but the carving on the door appears to, it's basically just one big stone door, but there is a huge lock in the center. It looks like a frog with its mouth open, and the keyhole is inside the frog's mouth.
That's welcoming.
Well, let's put the key in then.
Do you
I'll
have
just
the
say-
key?
Well, I mean,
What shape is the keyhole? Is it keyhole shaped or is it traditional
keyhole
keyhole shaped?
It's traditional keyhole.
So Grigori has his pitchfork, and he's gonna poke that in towards the lock and just jiggle it a little bit.
Okay. Cool. What's your pitchfork made out of?
Wood.
Wood. Okay. You jiggle it about, placing the end of the pitchfork in, and the end of the pitchfork snaps off. You now have no nib on.
Well, no, to be clear, I wasn't trying to do the lock. I'm just kind of poking around to see if the mouth like clamps down and breaks the pitchfork.
Oh
in half.
no, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't trying to pick anything. Wasn't trying to like jab the nub in there. Just trying to.
It was
Trying to make
pretty
sure
big
it's-
key, though. This isn't a small key. This is a pretty big key to get to turn
It's-
into it.
Yeah, it's about a couple inches big.
I'm going to fly above the statue in the middle of the water with the open mouth to see if there's anything inside that mouth.
You know what? Inside the mouth, quite large opening. There's a key at the bottom of the mouth.
Hey guys, there's a key inside the mouth on top of the lake.
You should go
Did you
grab
get
it,
it?
Joe.
No, I'm good. Someone else can go. I don't do well with mouths.
You are the only one that can fly. I do not want to get into the water.
But you can like turn into a snake or something, right? I don't know.
But you're already there.
Actually, if everybody's cool with it, I might be most well suited for this task. I have Bookmark, and it has a special ability that if I'm in danger, I can get out of it.
I might be able to just lift it out by magical means.
Yes, Everine.
How much do you weigh, Everine? I'll pick you up.
No, don't you dare. Get your hands off me. I cast Mage Hand and I start poking around and see if I can grab the key out of the mouth.
And back up next to
It would appear the mage hand tries to grab hold of the key and shift it, but the mage hand is unable to pick up this key.
Because it's too heavy, or because it just can't get a grip.
It looks like it could be too heavy.
Biju, what's going on? I'm trying to grab the key. It's not coming. What do you see?
Well, it looks like it's too heavy for your little magic fingers there.
It's a 10-pound key.
I guess so.
It's a heavy key.
What does it look like? Like, does it have like a ring in it at all?
Yeah, it looks like a stone key, like a traditional key shape, but a little bit larger and denser. It just looks like one big shift of stone. The hole that is the open mouth of the frog is just large enough to be able to fit a arm in and grab the key.
Well, I do believe in my gear I have a fishing tackle. Can I try to fish the key out of the...
Alternatively, Grigori also has a grappling hook.
Yep.
You could drop down the grappling hook, and 2 grappling hook actually. You could play the ball drop game.
We could use the mage hand to actually just hook it.
Actually, that seems like a very smart idea.
So who's going to be doing that? Because that requires a lot of meticulous positioning.
Grigori sets up a rope, and then at the end it comes down into 2 ropes, so it's just kind of tied off. So you have 2 grappling hooks that if they dangled freely, they would just bang into each other. They've got about 3 feet of length between them, so you could swing them apart, put them under things. So he's made that. And Pijo, perhaps this would aid you.
And
if you lose my grappling hooks, you will owe me.
Okay.
No, that's fine. We're good though.
So you place the grappling hooks in. Is that me or anyone else?
I don't hear anything.
I hear the noise, but it's not on my
Is
end.
anyone hearing background noise? I'm hearing a lot of shouting.
I don't hear shouting.
Turning off my headphones. That's uncomfortable. It sounded like something was broken. I hope it's not my headphones.
Or maybe you have ghosts. Are you
No
haunted?
headphones.
I'm sure you'll pick up all these things in rewatching.
Give it a moment. Wake up again.
No, I can hear a noise.
Oh, I hear like clicks every now and then, but not people shouting.
You hear that?
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
That sounds like a
no.
haunting. I think you need to call an exorcist or something here.
And that's not coming from any of you, because you guys can't hear it, can you?
Do you have a tab open on Chrome or something that's making noise?
One moment. Sorry. Technical issues getting in the way.
So viewers, how do you think we should solve this conundrum?
I think Pijo should just stick his arm straight into that mouth. Nothing bad could possibly happen.
Okay. If we're
Alright, so wireless,
out of
maybe
character.
you picking up some other signal. Maybe plug them in.
Can he hear you? He hasn't got them on.
Aaron,
okay?
Yeah, do chart of
Yep.
crime.
Okay.
Right.
Good. I'm good. Whoa. That was weird. All right. So, Pijo, you're going to use these little grappling hooks to try and hook that stone key out.
Yes.
And I can help with my mage hand with fine placement if necessary.
Now, question is though, where are you, Averine?
I am in the upper left-hand corner presently, but I can move if need be.
Because you need to be within 30 feet of your mage hand at all times.
Oh no.
I can move.
You can move closer.
Okay. Okay. As Pijo is fiddling with all of these little things, really trying to get the grappling hooks with the help of the mage hand underneath the key, getting everything going, he's distracted. Everyone else roll perception checks. Pijo's busy, and I would even go so far as to say Averine. Well, no, because from your position you'd be able to see, so you're fine.
These doors are very interesting. I'm paying a lot of attention to them.
Everyone that rolled a 17 or over will notice that just behind Pijo, tiny little eye stalk just pops up out of the water. Then a second one, and a third.
Pijo, get out of there!
I'm pretty high.
Get out!
Did you move?
Of tentacles appears, and I'd like everyone to roll.
Oh no!
Well, at least I thought it was a bloody beholder there for a minute.
Are there any beholders in this campaign? I don't think so.
Wow, Casey, that's impressive.
Welcome to
Back
my
at you.
No, that's right. The impressiveness is not that you did it; it's that you and I did it back to back.
To answer your
yeah.
question, Stephen. Of course.
Not on
What campaign wouldn't?
Right.
Type in error.
I love the image of it eating something. That's really gonna bode well for me.
All right,
Please
so
tell me there's a little
select
bird
that
on that token.
I think my next character, if Pijo dies from getting eaten, is going to be a dwarf, the shield barbarian or the armor barbarian with the spiked armor.
So you can't be eaten.
All right. So as this huge tentacled creature begins to just rise up out of the water, Carmen, what do you do?
I am going to walk up to the edge. No, I'm not. I'm going to stay where I am. I'm just going to look here and go, hey! Drop the bird! Get your own bird! And I'm going to cast...
Well, it hasn't.
He doesn't have me yet.
It hasn't acted hostily yet, right? It just came out of the water.
It's a hostile. This is clearly hostile.
Let's not jump to conclusions.
What did the pillar said? It said to be brave, right? Maybe we have to talk to it.
The pillar said specifically to give back as much as you take.
So we just have to. Okay. Oh, this is some Indiana Jones stuff. Dang it.
So, Carmen, what were you doing? You were commanding it?
I thought you had Pichu grabbed.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna say, okay. We're not here to bother you. You can stay in your water. How about a joke? And I'm gonna cast Hideous Laughter.
Okay, go ahead and cast Hideous Laughter. You cast Hideous Laughter. It has no effect.
Okay.
He's not that intelligent.
Okay. Then I'll just think he's boring. All right.
Jokes are
All
lame.
right. Tower.
I am gonna cast Conjure Animals.
Which animals are you going to conjure?
I'm still deciding.
Ooh, giant octopus, there's
Okay,
more.
if you're still deciding, you'll miss your
Giant
turn.
octopus is in the water. Exactly.
Wait, you're gonna have a giant octopus and actually put it in water for the first time ever.
Yes.
Yeah. It's perfect.
You absolutely read my mind.
So, octopus. How many do you get? 2?
It's 2 for level 1.
Okay. And where are you placing these giant octopi? Octopuses.
All out in front of his grill.
All out in front of his grill.
Yeah.
I think those octopi are going to get eaten soon.
That's a free lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not us getting
you.
eaten.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, maybe that's it. Maybe he'll just eat the octopods, and then
That's it.
fair's fair.
Yeah, we gave what we gave.
You've already got giant octopus as a character sheet, so you've already got control over that. Anything else? You need to roll initiative for them.
Have I got control of it?
You should have. You moved them.
No, I mean like these character sheets reference those.
The giant octopus character sheet that you have looks like it's probably using all of your stats. So let me change that real quick. Okay. So I'm gonna have to just get rid of those real quick.
Sorry.
Pull in some more. That's all right. Roll20's moving quicker for me lately. There we go.
Good music.
You should now have full control over the giant octopus. I will pull in a second. To the same location. There you go.
New sheet.
Can
Oh,
pull-
those are all right. So those are the ones I can control. Right?
Yeah. A quick way to pull up the correct sheet. Select them, hold down the shift key, and double click on the token.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Thank you.
The more you know. All right.
No.
So, roll initiative for them.
Do you want to do a group initiative?
Yeah, group initiative for the 2 of them. 14. Okay. Anything else, Tower?
That's cool. I'm gonna draw out my bow.
Okay. Then, Bicho.
Question. How
sir.
well hooked is that key right now?
Not at all.
All right. Then
Just
I'm
barely
going.
started fiddling with it, and the Froggermoth came up.
All right. Then I'm gonna just. I'll still hold on to the rope so Grigori won't get all upset because I'm losing his grappling hooks, and I am disengaging and getting the heck out of there.
Okay.
Is the key maybe attached to that rope?
No, he said it wasn't. I'm not gonna.
Not with the way that he just yanks and pulls out. It's not connected.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go there, and I'm gonna use my bonus action to Hunter's Mark it.
Okay. As you fly out of its reach, though,
Well, I use disengage. So does that?
use the disengage action.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. Okay.
Cool.
Anything
And-
else from you?
And then yeah, I'm marking it with my bonus.
Okay. Then we move to Averine.
It's just me.
I'm going to cast Bless at 4th level to get all of us, so we all have an extra 1d4 to our attack rolls and saving throws.
Nice. So
And-
everyone is blessed.
Do I know anything about frog hemoths that would be useful to shout out to everyone presently?
This
That-
is a.
I think
I'm
they're
trying to
in
think
bolos.
if you would actually have reason to have studied a Froggermoth previously, because there is obviously a very particular thing to know about them.
I believe they are in bolos, so that's why
Yeah.
I bring it up.
Maybe every day he read one monster. So if we're on like 50-something days, then
It's been more. He's through the S by now.
yeah,
I've already read all the book. It just took a few hours. So
Yeah.
right. Because you're so.
They are in
smart.
Volos, so if you would like to use up your action, you can revert to Volos and pull out a fact about them, if you
Well,
wish.
I already cast Bless. So this would be solely off of my memory of what I
Then a
remember.
history check.
16.
Unfortunately, with the nature of the information, all you can get is that it appears that you would know that being a creature that is of this particular form, it is resistant to fire and lightning damage. Okay.
So I'll call out. It's resistant to fire and lightning damage.
That's good to know.
Anything else from you, Averine?
I will just take a few steps that way.
Okay.
Left.
Giant octopus.
The giant octopus will. Well, I'm just going to attack.
Go ahead and make your attacks.
So I'll do the top one first. 21.
21 will hit.
Okay.
Good job, Octopus.
Good job, Octopus. DC 16.
Just plus
Oh,
less.
he's grappled. He's
It's
grappled.
automatically considered grappled. Though
Yeah.
that's a little ridiculous with the size of this thing.
What's
It's
this
okay,
weird?
I'm just going to eat it next turn. Alright.
He's a big creature, but
Anything else from you?
other squid's going to make his attack, and as this thing is it grappled or restrained? It's
It is
restrained.
considered restrained.
So I get advantage on this one.
Yeah.
22.
22 hits.
Okay. So he's technically restrained by both of them right now.
Okay. Anything else from the giant octopus?
Oh,
It's
Alright,
not.
Zola,
All right.
what would you like to do?
Gonna run over here and shoot it with my short bow, and I believe I get advantage because he's no. They would.
He
have
is restrained, so you have advantage.
perfect.
Get that sneak attack.
17.
17 will hit.
Woo!
Right.
That's 7 9. And then bonus action hide.
Okay. Within the tree behind the rock there?
Yeah.
Okay. You were there, right?
I
Okay.
was here.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you just...
goodness.
I'm just making sure you just kind of skirted its melee range, okay?
What kind of melee range? Holy crap.
All right, so it's the Froggermoth's turn. So on the Froggermoth's turn, it's not happy about being grappled by octopi, the two of them. So it would be an action to do that. Instead, it's going to use one tentacle to attack the octopus north of it.
does it get disadvantage because it's restrained?
Attacks by the creature are at disadvantage. Honestly, this is just wrong.
Because they're like tugging at its tentacle or something, and it's just a nuisance.
Yep.
Got him by the eye stalks.
So the creature has... the creature's attack rolls do have disadvantage. All right, so in which case that's a 12 to hit.
That misses. No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't.
It's 11. It's 11. Oh,
Hey.
so close. Use
All
the
right, so that'll be 28 points of bludgeoning damage to that octopus,
Still going.
and it is now grappled and restrained.
Can you grapple or self-grapple and restrain something that's already got you restrained?
Yep.
When you say grappled and
They're restraining each other. It's two guys like wrestling each other. You're both restrained.
Which is perfect. This is how the story goes.
Training him. So it's like a massive cuddle.
Yeah, it's just a big cuddle.
They're just giving each other big friendly cuddle hugs.
You should have
That's all this is.
cuttlefish then instead of octopi.
Second tentacle attack is going to be at disadvantage of 15.
Yeah, that still hits.
Okay. For 26 points of bludgeoning damage.
He's down.
Lunch.
Then the Froggermoth is going to turn to the octopus next to it, and it's going to flip out its tongue and bite at the Froggermoth.
Okay. The program.
Fun fact for players at
itself.
home.
Does it really want to bite itself? Stop biting itself.
No, let it bite itself. That's fine.
Sorry, not the Froggermoth. It's biting the octopus. Sorry. It's biting the octopus, and that, with disadvantage still, is a 16 to hit.
Yeah.
That's a dead octopus.
So, thankfully, the octopus is not medium or smaller, otherwise it would be swallowed.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, it only takes 29 points of piercing damage
That's cool. Still good.
and 10 points of acid.
10 points of acid. It's still there, mate.
Okay. Grigori.
I'm going to hit him with Eldritch Blast, I think. That is what we will do. And it's 5th level, so I get 2 bolts.
For 19 hits.
Is it still at advantage because they're grappled still, right?
Still at advantage because the Froggermoth is still restrained by the other octopus.
Okay.
Ooh, so I hit him with both of those, huh?
Yep.
I'm going to use Empowered Spell on that first one and re-roll that d10.
Okay. Yes, that's fine, but in the future, empower spell immediately after doing that one. If you're going to empower,
Oh, I
you
see.
empower
So,
one
I,
with your-
so so here's the question. This cantrip at 2nd level shoots 2 rays. I understood that it was
deal with
simultaneously.
each ray separately.
I see. Okay.
Because you
Well-
can pick different targets, you deal with them separately,
Right.
one after the other.
Well, we'll not. Fair enough. We won't do Empowered Spell this time, and then I'll just saunter away a good 30 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm done.
Okay. Back up to the top of the round. Carmen, what would you like to do?
Carmen has gone to save the cat from a fight.
Okay.
What about
you need to
saving
put on your best
Crituitous
Carmen
from a
impression.
fight?
Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Kill me for that one.
Yeah.
She didn't got anything.
Shatter.
It's a loud spell.
Because this isn't going to be loud, whatever's happening right now. A giant frog monster chomping on a...
I think like shatter is like 300 feet loud. You casting it?
Oh, wait, is it too loud? Is it too loud?
It's up to you. You want to cast it? I didn't say that.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can really do.
You can do a running leap and jump on top of it and stab it in the head with your sword.
That sounds wonderful.
That's like,
That sounds amazing if I wanted to die.
sounds like death.
Yeah. It's not a lot I can do. Can I just ready an action in case he comes close enough to the edge?
What is your action going to be?
It'll be a slash with the rapier.
Okay, then you'll have to get up to the water's edge.
Yeah.
Okay. Tower.
Question.
Answer.
I've got ice knife.
Mm-hmm.
If I can you selectively say I want to aim it at that location, so it doesn't hit the octopus when it explodes? Because it's only like 5 feet radius.
Yeah, you can.
Check.
Yep.
Yeah. Can I do that?
Fine.
Right. So I'll cast ice knife.
Okay.
No, not with that. Oh, +4. Oh, plus less.
Mm-hmm.
4. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. 17.
That hits. So, the initial attack deals what?
1d10.
1d10 piercing damage. Okay. Go ahead and roll the damage for that.
Did not do it.
I don't see the damage.
It's not. I'm trying.
Oh,
No, it's not doing it.
Have you specified which level? Just
When I press it, it asks me which level, but it's
Okay.
not.
and just roll 1d10.
Yeah, 1d10. 4 plus.
So 4 points piercing
6.
damage. It now needs to roll a dex save.
It's got disadvantage because it's restrained, or is it nothing at all?
Disadvantage on dex saves. It's got a 19 on the dex save, so I'm assuming that saves.
Yeah. So
Okay.
to take half.
So, no, it must succeed on a dexterity save or take 2d6 cold damage. If it succeeds, it doesn't take any damage.
All right. I thought
Okay.
restrained meant you couldn't do a deck save. Wasn't it?
Only that you have disadvantage on dex saves.
Okay.
My DM's
It's ticking.
Yep, creature has disadvantage on dex saves.
Okay.
All right. I really need D&D Beyond to hurry up with their digital DM screen. Anyways, moving on. Anything else from you, Tower?
That's it.
Right. Bijo.
All right, I'm gonna just I'm gonna let go of the grappling hooks that I have now because they are taking up a hand, and I'm going to pull back with a poison arrow
Okay.
and let fly at this guy. There,
Nice.
here we go.
That will hit.
All right, so it gets
Damage.
the extra for the poison, Hunter's Mark, and Colossus Slayer.
Nice.
And yeah.
Anything else?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that again.
Another solid hit
Mm,
with your 20.
Yeah.
5, 8, 16. Okay.
and I will get myself up just. So if I was above the mouth before, about how high off the ground would I be right now if I had just gone?
10 foot.
I'm gonna get
You
up.
went straight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get up another 10 feet just to keep a good vantage point of everything going on.
Okay.
Cool.
Aberreen.
I'll cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
And I'll
You
do
have advantage on the attack.
I'll do so at just first level.
Nice. So 11 points of radiant damage, and now the Froggermoth begins to shine and glow.
And that's it.
A good shine and glow or a bad shine and glow?
The good kind, that means any
Okay.
attack against it has advantage.
Oh, good.
Alright. Then the giant octopus.
Gonna make another attack.
Okay.
With advantage, the 16
That will hit.
will hit. Okay.
Now, here's the clarification we need to make. The target is restrained and the octopus can't use its attacks on another target. Are we saying then that the creature can still keep itself grappled? Like, can still grapple and use its tentacle on that creature?
No, I've only got one attack, so I would say I can't grapple other creatures with that, or I can attack with the tentacle that I've grappled. So I haven't changed up.
Right, but you've not lost the grapple. You're still attacking. You've still got the grapple on.
Yeah, well, even
I've
hit, so I've re-grappled.
Yeah,
so I would
doesn't
say
matter.
I think I still get to slap it around while I've got grapple.
Yeah. So it takes 10 points of bludgeoning damage. That does use up the advantage from Avarine's guiding bolt. Anything else from the octopus?
So I just wanted to add before we go on. I rolled Colossus Slayer on that second attack, but I think I'm only supposed to get that once per turn. So that 3 hit points shouldn't be dealt to the Froghammer.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool.
Zola.
I shoot it.
You shoot it. So coming out of hidden, 18. That hits.
Ooh, that was a nice sneak attack roll.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna fall back here and hide again.
Okay. Stealth check. All right. It is the Froghemoth's turn. First thing he's going to do is tentacle attack against the octopus that's right there. That, with disadvantage, is a 16 to hit.
That hits.
For 24 points of bludgeoning damage.
He's down.
There's a dead octopus. Second tentacle is going to go for Carmen, since she's right there.
Mhm.
That's a 25 to hit you.
I'm going to slash at it because I've prepared an action.
You've prepared an action to be able to hit it when it gets close enough to do so.
Okay.
You're currently not yet in melee range to be able to attack it.
Okay.
But you
Can
will
she
have the
slap at
opportunity in just a moment. In a moment you will, so don't worry. But the 25 hits you.
Yeah.
Okay. You take 24 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
And you are now grappled and restrained.
Yeah.
Okay. It is then going to move ever so slightly, which will give you the opportunity to attack as you wish.
Yeah. Please stop.
16. That hits for 11 points of piercing damage.
And then a defensive flurry on that as well.
Okay. For an extra 7. Okay. It's got you grappled. And because of the grapple, you are restrained as well. So it has advantage on its attack on you. It's going to bite you.
Okay.
That is a 26 to hit. Does that hit you?
Yeah.
With your plus 7?
Yeah.
Does that still hit? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Then you take 23 points of piercing damage. 12 points of acid. And are now
I'm dead.
swallowed. You're not dead. Are you down to 0?
So what was it 20?
23 plus 12.
Yeah, I'm dead.
0.
Not dead, 0.
Okay, but unconscious inside its mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the Froghemoth is going to move the rest of its movement here. It'll launch out a tongue attack at Tower. I need Tower to make a strength saving throw.
Fine.
Nice. It tries to whip at you to pull you in. It can't do that. So it'll have to attack you at range. Because it's got one more tentacle left to do.
It's done 3 attacks, hasn't it?
It's done 1 tentacle, a bite, and now it did a...
One on the
Oh, no. Okay, that's it. Yep.
And then the bite.
That's- We're good. All right. Grigori.
So many tough choices.
Hmm.
I'm dead. It's no point.
They can
You're
get
not
you
dead.
out.
You're inside. Who's got? The fire resistance is a real issue for me. Sorry.
The creature looks really badly injured, if that helps.
I'm dropping a fireball on his head. It's gonna do it.
Okay.
At third level. But I'm gonna use empowering spell to reroll 4 of them. So subtract 4, 5, 6. Subtract 10 and add 18. So that's 21, 39. So it's 39 damage.
Okay.
Fire damage.
So, it fails the deck save. Unable to move enough to be able to get out of the force of this explosion. As the fire connects, it is resistant to it. So, 39.
39.
Half damage is 18. No, 19.
19.
Still alive. Anything else from you, Grigori?
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Carmen, you start your turn. I need you to roll a... you start your turn by taking 10 points of acid damage.
Well,
so that's
hold on.
one failed
Before
death.
this happens, can anyone think of anything I can do to do like 2 more points of damage? I can't fairly do another empowered spell because I've already done that once.
Go back in time. Or was there a portent?
Unfortunately,
Portent wouldn't work on those damage die.
Or can people not tell me to not use that spell?
Portent would work on the death save, though, right?
Yeah.
Portents would work on the death save. So,
All right, I guess.
at the start of your turn, Carmen, you do take 10 points of acid damage, so you do end up... That is one failed death save. Roll a death saving throw.
I will use my 11 portent.
So, that is a success.
Okay.
So, that's 1 failure, 1 success while you're inside this creature's gullet. Tower. What do you do?
Tower will turn into a bat. And attack this thing.
That's going to hit. Tower, how do you kill this thing?
I am just going to jump up and then try and just rip open its jaws. I'm going to grab like the bottom lip and that with 2 claws and try and get Carmen out and just tear the jaw open.
Rip open the Froggermoth's jaw, and you can see the unconscious, acid-covered form that is Carmen.
I'm going to
as
pull
the
her
body
out.
sinks under the water.
I'm going to pull her out. I'm going to change form and I'm going to cast Healing Word.
Okay. You can't do all of that in one turn, because wild shaping is a bonus action, so is healing.
No.
Pijo.
Well, I will cast Healing Word.
Okay.
So I'll move up closer and cast that. I mean, if she's within range, but I'm moving up closer just because it suits it. So I'll cast Healing Word on her, or in her space.
Why don't you stand by me when you do that, Pijo?
No, you know what? I'm gonna get farther away from you. I'm actually gonna go over here and cast Healing Word, or Healing Spirit, rather.
Okay. So as you
In
cast
that
Healing
space.
Spirit. Okay. All right. So you will be able to restore Carmen back to life everyone will be able to gain the benefits of the healing spirit. So if you've taken any damage, go ahead and roll 10d6 to gain that back.
Just think.
10d6. Just take
Roll
10d6.
10d6.
Just sit there.
That's
So
fine.
39 hit points back.
Oh,
All right.
you.
You are still alive, Carmen.
Yeah.
Well, so Carmen rolls that on her turn.
Well, yes.
So I
So
roll.
I stand by Carmen.
Mhm.
If you wish, Lainey, you can re-roll any number of those dice to get a higher healing.
I would. Well,
Look at that too.
yeah, I'd re-roll. If I re-roll 3 of the dice, or just one dice. Just one
You
dice?
can re-roll as many of those dice as you want. I
Oh,
spend
okay.
1 sorcery point. You can re-roll any number of dice.
Awesome. Then I'll re-roll 3 of them because I had a 2 and a 3 and a 3. So
So roll 3d6. So
3
you
and 3 and
increase
4.
what
That's
you
cool.
got by 2, so 41 hit points.
Cool. Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's an aura of the hells that makes your wounds draw close faster, and that's it.
So, with the death of the Frogamoth, what do you guys want to do?
I suppose that's the frog monster we're supposed to be wary of.
You know what's funny with the octopuses is that what Kubazan did for Uptao is he wrestled him for his enjoyment. So kind of neat that we did the same.
Perhaps Uptao was pleased.
One would hope.
The end.
Carmen, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm gonna press the digitation myself and get all this slime and grime off of me. I
Now
feel
you're
like-
part of the Eaten by Big Monsters Club.
Yeah. See, we got a special club going on being you. We're fine.
I'm in it. I got eaten by a plant once. Come on.
That's true. That's true. Say,
What the
I
big
prefer to be in the other club of people who've not been eaten by anything, even if that is, at this point, I think just me and Averine.
Grigori likes being part of the club where I'm a boring spoil sport and nothing fun ever happens to me.
I agree with Gregory. I'm sort of
have you not been eaten?
No.
Okay.
I'm too big to.
Yes, Mackenzie.
I'm gonna hop onto this lily pad here and use it as a stepping stone to get onto the statue.
Technically, there's a big Frogmorph right there.
It's sinking.
It's something. And then I'm
So
just
you get
gonna.
up to it.
I'm
You just
gonna
reach in, grab
yeah.
the key.
just grab
You know,
it.
you just reach in, grab the key. Everything's fine. It wasn't a trap. You're good.
Hop
You just
back.
grab the key.
Check for traps, and then if none,
The key slides in quite nicely. With a heavy shift, you unlock the door. The doors open up, revealing quite the space. Steps descend to a ledge overlooking a pit of sharpened spikes in here. I'm going to get rid of all of the dynamic lighting there, just because we don't need it. We can see everything that's in there. An alcove on the far wall holds a pedestal with a stone cube resting on it. Okay, there is a stone cube stood on this pedestal. A relief carving behind it seems to show a monstrous frog with tentacles fighting and strangling a crane. Lining the walls are wooden beams, each about 10 foot long, 5 foot wide, long enough for each of you to step through them. What would you like to do?
turn and look at Piju. This
I
might
don't-
be yours.
I don't understand what's going on.
There are many spikes along the ground,
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
and those of us not blessed with the gift of flight might have a difficult time passing through those spikes or climbing across the boards on the side.
Well, you know, you're right. I've forgotten that everyone can fly, and I just kind of like put out my wings a little bit. How high up are the spikes going?
The pit is 30 foot deep. The spikes go up to about 15 foot. So there's a 15-foot fall before you hit any of the spikes. But the ceiling itself is about 20 foot above your current position.
Okay, so I'm gonna carefully fly. I'm gonna check just and roll a perception to see if I see anything that looks amiss
Roll a perception check.
in this area.
Can I aid him?
How would you aid his perception? Perception is one of those that's really difficult to just help someone with.
Well, if he's looking to the left, I'll look to the right, and if he's looking up, I'll look around.
Right. Then in which case, that's not you aiding him, that's you doing your own perception check as well. So
I'm
roll
cool
a
with that
perception
too.
check.
Yeah.
The difference would be if you were able to aid him, he'd get advantage. All right, so roll a perception check.
You guide
You don't
his
need-
head and point it. This-
I imagine you put the hands over the eyes. Okay. So, looking around this, you do notice that all around the top corner of this building are tiny little frog faces embedded into the wall with a little hole for a mouth. And you swear you feel a slight breeze coming from them.
So maybe these are the frog mouths that we're supposed to beware, not the frog unit. These have a problem. I'm going to relay that information back. If anybody has an idea of how we can handle that.
What's on the other side?
Yeah, what is on the other side?
Just looks like a square cube of stone.
It's just a cube, just stone. Nothing fancy.
Unless it's also
All the bugs.
10 pounds, maybe I could just lift it.
It's worth a shot.
So I cast Mage Hand and see if I can grab the puzzle
Mage
box.
hand comes along, picks up the little box, and it lifts it up, no problem. Those with keen eyes notice tiny little bit of the pedestal raises up a little bit as well. The door immediately behind Zola and Pijo slams shut,
Oh no.
closing the two of you in, and those little mouths with tiny little air holes begin spewing some green gas. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
God.
Oh no.
Fetch.
And where is the key right now?
The key is on the other side in the door,
On the other side, so somebody out there could open the door
potentially.
and potentially
Oh.
release all these fumes.
Mhm.
How quickly? I guess maybe we'll find out.
Once everyone has rolled initiative.
Yeah.
Has everyone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So, Carmen. The door suddenly slams shut right in front of Tower and Averine, cutting you off from Zola and Pijo. What do you do? Do you do anything?
Did Pijo, when you were flying around, did you see when you were having a look earlier? Was this like is this an enclosed room or is there a roof?
I assume there's a roof. Yeah.
There's a roof, 20 foot tall.
Okay. I'm just going to hold my action for now. No. I'm just going to hold my action for now. Maybe, can I just move myself further down the turn order? Because there's nothing I can do at the moment.
Okay, you can skip your turn.
Yeah, I'll skip my go.
Tower, are you going to try anything?
Right, so is the key still in the hole?
Key is still within the keyhole.
Yeah,
It is
I'm
also turned as if the key was as it was to unlock the door.
all right. I've got 2 actions here. Pretty sure I have a crowbar. My adventuring gear.
Probably do, you know.
I'm pretty sure I have one. And is there any sort of is it a door that's closed like that, or is it a door that opened with one panel that's closed to the side, or is it 2 panels that are closed together, or is it?
So the 2 doors, as you use the key, opened up like that.
Okay.
They shut straight closed like that.
Yeah, I can't see frozen.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
So
so
they're 2 panel doors that meet in the middle, and the key is in the center of the doors.
Oh, so have they folded in
They
towards us?
closed in towards you. Yes.
All right, so I could attempt to try and. I'm gonna rage and attempt to push open the doors.
Okay. Roll an athletics check with advantage because you're raging.
I'm good.
Unfortunately, unable to really get that door to move.
Okay.
Okay. After Tower's turn, the gases begin to expand. I need Zola and Pijo to roll Constitution saving throws.
Is this poison?
This is against poison damage. Yep. So
I'm-
you're immune. You're immune.
Oh, good. Great. So I'll roll a Constitution saving throw. Because you know how those have worked for me in the past. Oh, that one's not bad. Okay.
Hey.
You seem to be okay, able to withstand the effect of the ever-thickening gas of poison. All right, Pijo, it is your turn.
I was.
Wait, no, Avery. Yeah, sorry, Avery with 19.
Can I just open the unlock and open the door?
The key won't budge. The unlock won't work.
They're fine. Nothing to worry about.
Do you still have hold of the puzzle cube in your mage hand?
I would expect, unless the door interrupted it.
I don't think so, because you don't need line of sight of the mage hand. So would you be doing anything with that?
I wouldn't be moving it because I don't know where it's going. I don't want to bop someone in the head with it.
Well, did you set it back down, or is it still floating in the air?
Still floating in the air.
Okay, fair enough. Then are you not doing anything?
Correct.
Okay, Pijo.
Okay. Now, if I understand correctly, I can move, do an action, and then continue my move, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what I think I should want to do is I want to move over, fly over to the pedestal. I have a 50-foot rope that weighs 10 pounds to put
Okay.
on the pedestal and see if that stops the gas. And if it does, then grab the cube and fly back to the door.
Okay. You coil up the rope and you place it down on top of the pedestal, and very Indiana Jones, it doesn't seem to stop the gas. So
Does-
you
yeah.
know mage hand means that the item is 10 pounds or lighter, and you just put 10 pounds on it and that didn't work.
I'm not good at math, guys. I have an intelligence of 8.
All right. Anything else from you, Pijo?
Just
So-
grab the cube and come back.
I'm gonna grab it and come back. I'm just trying to think of a way to get through.
Or
So
just-
I'll end my turn back where I started, but with the cube.
Zola.
How high above are the little frog guys? If I were to jump on the planks, would I be able to reach them?
The little frog mouths 20 foot up, so it's a bit of a jump, and the planks are at floor level. The planks are there to give people who can't fly a route around. You see, the gas that's spewing in, you're fine, but it's still nasty. It smells like rotten eggs.
And then the trade thing didn't work after the trap got released, as far as I
Too
can tell.
heavy.
As far as you can tell.
The only thing I can think to do at this point is to attempt to block one of the mouths of the frogs with an arrow.
Okay. So are you going to try and fire off a shot to see if you can do that?
Yeah.
All right. You'll have disadvantage on the shot because it's such a targeted aim, but go
What if I
ahead.
hide? No, I'm just kidding.
Can't
Yeah.
surprise a creature.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the arrow just shatters as it hits the little mouth. Doesn't block it. Anything else?
Do I Let me. I don't. Let me check something real quick.
Is there a
Nope. Can't do anything.
Okay. Then Grigori.
He's gonna walk over to Tower, and seeing Tower pushing on it, he'll aid. He'll try to push on it as well. To I'm a frail little sorcerer, but this is a big old stone door, and fire is just gonna scorch it. So I'll try to push as well to aid Tower.
Okay. So are you specifically just trying to understand? Are you pushing to yourself to make an athletics check, or are you using the help action to give Tower advantage on
Tower already has advantage because he's raging, so I'm independently pushing. But the idea is, the two of us together can maybe get this thing open.
So maybe now Rory has
Tower's going to lose his rage if he doesn't attack anything within a turn, or take damage.
Well, somebody should poke him.
So unless he does something,
stick, I guess. Let's see whose turn is next. Carmen's, then Carmen's got time. She can stab.
So the question is, okay.
I was gonna
then
push.
Roll an athletics check. You start pushing, your feet start moving and running. Yeah. All right, Carmen, what are you gonna do?
Carmen is recognizing that Tower needs to have an attack or be hurt to keep his rage. So she's going to just use the flat of her sword and slap him on the ass. Really?
Ooh, kinky.
Okay, go ahead and make a spank attack.
Come on!
Stay angry. Stay angry.
All right, go ahead and make an attack.
But not to hurt them, just to not to
You have to hurt them a little bit.
But you have to hurt him.
You have to hurt me. Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'll use.
And you said you slapped me too, so I expect you to roll that attack twice.
Yeah, okay.
Does a 14 hit Tower?
I would
Thanks,
have
because I'm standing next
She's
to her.
got
She should get
advantage.
advantage.
I'm completely distracted.
And she has an ally right next to Tower, so, flanked.
I'm technically flagged.
No, you're
Technically, he is backed up against a wall though, which might make it harder.
Yeah. He's going to enjoy it. He's going to take it like a man.
Unfortunately, neither of those attacks are able to pierce the hide of the raging behemoth that is Tower.
No, I'm not blessed anymore, am I? No.
Yeah.
We're not blessed anymore?
I don't see a reason why you would.
Or just depends on the amount of time that has passed. It lasts for 10 rounds.
You're fine.
Roll that d4.
So roll a d4.
Okay.
Yeah.
18.
So would the 17 hit Tower?
Yeah, 17 in my armor class.
Okay, so
Right.
14 points of piercing damage to Tower. You make sure that you cut him in a non-lethal manner.
Oh,
To
yeah.
be nice, but
It's
but
reduced
yeah,
in half, right?
it's
Yeah,
halved
right.
because he's raging. So 7 points of piercing damage, and that keeps Tower's rage
14
up.
points. Did you put an extra damage in on that?
No.
You just rolled max. All right, Tower, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to continue to push, I think. Is the only thing I
Okay.
can do.
Continue to rush.
Come on. Good rolls. Come on.
17 is better than a 15 from before.
Yeah, I know. I'll need to. I'm lowering roll sub 10.
17, unfortunately, is not going to do it. You should try to push these doors open. Anything else from you, Tower?
Technically, this is a. Does Blessed work with this type of attack?
Less
think
is on
it's-
attacks and saving throws.
Just attacks and save throws.
Ability checks. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so Averine.
I'll call out. Zola, are you okay in there?
Can we hear from inside?
Yeah, you can hear.
Okay.
It's a little muffled because there's a big stone, but that's about it.
Okay. Piju, are you okay in there?
It smells real bad. There's some stuff.
There's some stuff.
But I have the cube.
Good. Keep holding on to it.
That's the problem.
I'm going to cast Guidance on Tower to give him a
Okay.
1d4 on his next roll.
There we go. All right. So, since the poison isn't affecting Zola, it's only affecting Pijo. I now need Pijo to roll a Constitution save, and the room is filling up now. There's more poison than there is air in this room.
Good, great. I can add bless to this too, right? Because I was blessed before.
Saving throw, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm going to add bless to this.
Okay. Roll that d4.
15.
And makes it a 15.
Is that enough?
Unfortunately, not quite. You take 12 points of poison damage and are poisoned
What is
for a
that?
minute. Means you have disadvantage on ability checks.
Is it saving throw an ability check?
No, it's not. Saving throw is a
Okay.
saving throw, not an
Okay.
ability
Good.
check.
Good.
Specifically, poisoned means all creatures. A poison creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay. And you said it was 12 points?
Yeah, 12 points.
Okay. That's not terrible. Could be worse.
All right. Then, what are you going to do, Pijo?
Well, that's a good question. Because I very well can't open this door, and I don't have any gold to put on the ledge.
So Gregoria's not going to try to save you that hard, apparently.
I guess I'll. No, because how big is it? I mean, this cube I have to hold it two-handed. I'm assuming. Is
No, it's
that-
only a couple inches.
Oh,
You can fit it in one hand.
it's that little. Can I get a feel for how much it weighs? Like compared to some item in my gear.
If you spend your turn comparing it to items in your gear, you can get its weight.
Okay, yeah, I would like to spend my turn doing that then.
Okay. You feel about, you weigh it up. You can make a estimate that it is about 6 pounds.
6 pounds. Oh, I can ditch my shield. I can. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Thank you. I'm gonna
And-
relay that information to Zola.
Zola.
This is silly. This is ridiculous. This is getting out of hand.
I agree.
I am going to hug Piju and cast Dimension Door.
Oh,
There we go.
do that.
There we go. Yes, you can do that.
Where did you learn that, Zola?
It's the
So
proper.
Where do you transport to?
Yeah. Where do you go? Because
I was gonna say, well, with hearing everybody on the other side of the door, I know not to teleport into somebody, so I was gonna do 20 feet this way.
okay. So you teleport to that way. Everyone suddenly sees a pop of gas around the side, and there's Zola and Pijo.
Push harder.
Fine.
Tower, come on, put your back into it.
I'm trying.
They're dying in there,
We are
man.
coming. We are coming.
We should just casually walk up and be like, "What are they doing? What are you guys doing?"
We thought you were still in there.
We're not. We're here. Hello.
Also, to answer your question, Piju, I can only do that once a day. It's property of bookmark.
Ah.
Because
Well,
I'm
it's a very
curious,
good little.
Tower,
Yeah.
roll an athletics check, add advantage, and add a d4.
Come on, one more. Oh, not the D4. Keep going up. So that's 25.
As they appear behind you, you also push open the doors. They're not there. They're behind you, but you got these doors open. That's
I'm
what
gonna
matters.
go in there and go, they have dissolved. I can do it.
Oh,
And,
so C3PO of you.
All right. With that, you guys have in your hands a little cube. You roll over the cube. It is flat on all sides, except the underside that it was positioned on. You lift it up, and you see this is Kubazan's puzzle cube.
Kubazan.
It has the form of Kubazan engraved into it.
Did we just
What are
kill
you
Kubazan, or
doing
did we just...
with his puzzle cube?
Grigori closes the doors, pulls out the key, and Pijo, if you'd be so kind as to drop this back where we found it, so that if anyone follows, they are none the wiser.
Sounds like a reasonable plan. Pop it in the mouth. The key, not the cube. Cube stays in my hand.
Cube stays in your hand. Yeah. Okay. So with that, what do you guys want to do?
All right, that's one down. 7 more to go.
How long did that take us? That was like 10 minutes.
Yeah, a couple of minutes. It didn't take long.
That wasn't too hard, as I'm gagging because I'm still poisoned. It was great. We're good.
Well, if you feel so good, let's go. Let's just go to that other one that was nearby.
Lead the way.
Oofbert will move up to you. So, what?
Oh,
What did you find?
The whole time?
He's staying off in the distance.
Oh, there was some poisonous traps inside, but there was nothing inside at all. It seems that someone may have gotten here before us.
Roll a deception check.
Finally!
I don't believe you. Neither does Pijo.
I was hoping he was going to roll real low and believe that nothing was there.
It was all a dream.
Yeah. It's like, but what about this?
Is there any archaeological insight you wish to glean from this area before we press on?
Well, I'm just quite interested to know what did it mean when it said Kubazan encourages to give as much as we take?
Well, there was nothing there, so we don't know.
Pretty sure that the artifact was sitting on a weight distribution trap.
Ooh. Right. So, we can deduce that these warnings might have something to do with the solution to getting the cubes.
Sure, with hindsight being 20/20 and all.
Perhaps we can pay closer attention to the next one.
Perhaps you could be a little more helpful next time.
And I'm sitting in the background, not doing anything.
All right.
So, are you guys now headed off just to the next shrine?
If there's nothing that we run into in between, it's only been 10 minutes. We've just woke up half an hour ago. Sure.
How are you actually, like, you're still going through all of the ruins in the city. Are you going to be stealthing? Are you going to be just walking?
Stealthily, I think. No invisibility, but like doing our best.
Then stealth checks all around.
Tower, do you want to make us extra stealthy? Just
Did we wait long enough so that I don't have poisoning anymore?
Yes.
Okay, great.
have rain. Good rolls.
It's okay, Tower. I rolled worse than you did. So, as make your way across the platform, you see there is a group of houses and buildings that divide where you are. But right in the center...
We are still on the old map.
I'm moving.
Oh, okay.
So, as you guys make your way over. Right in the center of this this space, there is this long walkway where there's no. You'd have to go a long way to go around the outside, or you climb up over it in the open. As you guys do climb over it, trying to get over as quickly and quietly
Well,
as possible.
it looks like we all decided to go south. Maybe see if we can sneak around the bottom of the stairs.
Sounds good, but I'm trying to describe why failed.
Ah, very good. Sorry. Carry on.
Since you did fail, enough of you failed. As you begin to make your way around, even if you go around, unfortunately, you spot a patrol group on top of the walkway. A nice little batch of 5 UNT.
Oh, the friendly
which
kind.
is an abomination. And we'll...
What?
Aaron, you suddenly got muted.
I got muted.
At this
You
critical
know.
moment.
It was.
You're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Cool. So as these 5 UNT, one of which is an abomination, the large snake-bodied creature, snake-legged creature, comes into view, we will end the session there, and we will face off against the UNT next week. So join us next week as we continue to explore the city of Omu, learn more about these puzzle cubes, and what the UNT are doing in here. Thank you very much, folks.
Sure.
Good night.